Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll show you how to make the placement in the thumbnail you saw. So to make the placement, first I'll make a magic ring. Now I'll make a chain 1 to secure it like this. Now I'll go a bit slow-mo to show you how it's properly done. First take a length of yarn, the length you want your pop stitch to be. I want the length like this. Then I'll wrap my yarn on my hook, put the hook in the magic ring and pull out the yarn, and I'll do this 3 more times, so total of 4 times. Wrap my yarn first, then put my hook into the magic ring, then yarn over and pull out, and the last time like so. Now with my middle finger and thumb I'll hold the stitch and hold the thread here, but first I'll make the magic ring a bit smaller so that I can do the stitches properly and hold it comfortably. Now with my middle finger and thumb I'll hold my stitch like this, the thread like this. Now yarn over and pull through all the stitches on the hook, and then put my hook in the gap right here and make a single crochet. That. Now to make the next stitch I'll first make 2 chains and then yarn over, wrap my yarn on my hook, then into the magic ring, yarn over and pull through. I'll do this 3 more times. And then with the middle finger and thumb hold the yarn right here, then yarn over, pull through all the stitches including the last stitch. Then I'll put my hook through this gap here, yarn over, pull through and make a single crochet like that. Again chain 2 and I'll back to my normal speed. Wrap my yarn and into the magic ring, pull out the yarn 4 times to make 1 puff stitch. I'll do total of 6 petals, 6 puff stitch in the magic ring, and this is the last puff stitch. Then chain 2 and close the magic ring, and I'll do a slip stitch on the first puff stitch, and this is the round 1. Now for the second round, in the chain 2 space I'll first make a slip stitch and chain 1 to secure it. Now pull the yarn to the length I want my puff stitch to be and make sure that it's equal, and I'll make a puff stitch just like before 4 times, wrapping the yarn and then complete the puff stitch and chain 2 again, and in the same chain 2 space I'll make another puff stitch, chain 2 and in the next uh, chain 2 space I'll make 2 puff stitch with 2 chains in the middle. So for the second round, what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 puff stitches in each of the chain 2 spaces, and in between each puff stitches there will be 2 chains. Another puff stitch in the same chain 2 space, and in the first puff stitch I'll make a slip stitch to complete the second round, and it will look like this. Then for the next round I'll make a slip stitch in the chain 2 space and chain 1 to secure it, and then I'll make a puff stitch in the chain 2 space, and complete the puff stitch. Then I'll make chain 3. Then in the same chain 2 space I'll make a puff stitch, but I'll not complete it. So here I'm making an incomplete puff stitch, and continue doing another puff stitch in the next chain 2 space. Basically I am doing 2 puff stitches together, and now I'll complete the puff stitch. Just like before, pull through all the stitches, and you have to be careful or this will happen. Two puff stitch together and complete the puff stitch. Be careful. Like that. And then again chain 3, and in the same chain 2 space another incomplete puff stitch, and continue doing the puff stitch in the next chain 2 space and complete there. And then chain 3, and I'll continue doing this for the third round. This is how it will look like, and I'll come back after I finish the third round. And now for the last stitch I'll complete the last puff stitch just like I completed the first puff stitch of the third round. and then without doing any chains, I'll join with the slip stitch in the first puff stitch and complete the third round. For the third round, I'll make a chain 1 to secure. Then in this space on top of the 2 puff stitches, I'll make 1 puff stitch, then I'll make chain 2, and in the same space I'll make another puff stitch here, then I'll make chain 3, and again the puff stitch 2 together. On top of that I'll make 2 puff stitches with 2 chains in between them. Chain 2, and in the same space another puff stitch, chain 3, and continue on the next puff stitch 2 together. On top of that another 2 puff stitches with 2 chains in between them, and I'll follow this pattern throughout the whole 4th round and complete it. Chain 2, second petal, chain 3, and I'll continue on. This is how it will look like. And after the last 2 puff stitch with 2 chains in between, I'll make 3 chains and join with a slip stitch on the first puff stitch and complete the 4th round, and I'll fasten off here. Now you will need 3 to 5 different colors colored yarn. You can use 3, you can use 4 or 5, it doesn't matter, just use different color. And in each space I'll make a string with puff stitches. In every chain 2 space and chain 3 space I'll make 1 string. That includes 4 puff stitches. Let me show you. First I'll join the yarn, then I'll make the first puff stitch, but this time I want the puff stitch a bit puffier, so I'll wrap my yarn 6 times. This is the 5th and 6th time. Now complete the puff stitch, then a chain 1 to secure it, and I'll make another puff stitch in the single crochet right here. I'll wrap my yarn 6 times for the puff stitch. Complete the puff stitch with the single crochet, then chain 1 to secure it and continue doing the next puff stitch. And I'll make 4 puff stitches in total. If you want your placemat to be a bit bigger, then you can increase your puff stitches of this string. Chain 1 and the last puff stitch. Make sure that every puff stitch is equal, not bigger or not smaller, or the placemat will not lay flat even after stretching it. This is how the string will look, and in the next chain 3 space I'll make another string, and in every space I'll make different color strings like this. Here I used 4 colors, as you can see. Now I'll join them with the skin colored yarn, with this cream colored yarn, or the color you used in the middle for the middle part. Now at the bottom of any string, you just put the excess yarns into the puff stitches. Don't worry about them. Now in at the bottom of any puff stitch, at the left side, at the right side, join the yarn. Remember, at the right side of any string. Then I'll make 6 chains at the length of my puff stitch. If your length is bigger, then do more chains. The shorter, the less chains. Then join with a single crochet in between the 2 puff stitches. Again 6 chains, and join with a single crochet in the middle of these 2 puff stitches. Chain 6 and join in the middle with a single crochet. Chain 6, and with a single crochet I'll do a single crochet at the top of the puff stitch. Then I'll make chain 4 and single crochet again at the top, slip stitch at the top, again chain 4 and slip stitch, and last time chain 4 and slip stitch at the top, like that. Now continue doing chain 6 and joining at the middle with single crochet. Now join with a slip stitch at the base with a single crochet, Then in the next stitch I'll make a single crochet to join, then I'll make chain 3, and now in the previous 6 chain I'll make a single crochet, chain 3, and join at the next puff stitch. Again chain 3, join at the 6th chain with a single crochet, then chain 3 and join at the next puff string, chain 3, join at the previous 6 chain space with a single crochet, then chain 3 and in the next puff stitch, again chain 3, and the last 6 chain 6 space, chain 3 and join at the top of the puff string, then chain 4, join with a slip stitch at the top, and I'll do it 2 more times to make 3 picots. Now for this side I'll make 6 chains and joining, and I will follow the same pattern throughout the whole through the all strings. One side, at the right side you will be joining with the next string, and at the left side you will be doing 6 chains and join at the puff string itself. Single crochet at the base, single crochet at the next string space, and with chain 3 I'll join, and at the left side I'll do 6 chains. joinings will look like this, with 3 picot at the top, and this side I'll do 6 chains and joining. Let's complete it. And I have came at the last string, and this is how it looks. It will be a bit curved up, so I'll have to straighten it with stretching the work. But first let's finish. For the last string I'll not do 6 chains and joining. Instead I'll make 3 chains and the joining technique, and at the base I'll join with a single crochet and fasten off. And after joining with a single crochet I'll fasten off here and finish my work. And this is how the placemat will look like. After a bit of stretching it will all look good like the picture. So if you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel for more videos.